Welcome to the Two Geeks and a Microphone podcast, your one-stop shop for television, movie, video games, comic books, book reviews, and more. Now, without further ado, here's Steven and Mike.
Who talks first? You talk first? I talk first.
Hello there. So who talks first? You talk first. I talk first.
Hey, hola, compadres. Welcome to the Two Geeks and a Microphone show. I am your host, Mr. Stephen Boster, along with the one, the only, the most Batmaniest, Mr. Michael Shanks. Mike, say hey to everybody.
Good morning, all you geeks out there in Geekdom land. Apparently, I'm still sleepy.
Yeah, today, everybody, I was the one who was late getting ready for the show because I was pretty sleepy. So, but now we're wondering if it's really Mike.
Acid reflux sucks. That's all I got to say.
Oh, so just what he's saying, everybody, is you got up really super early and you've been awake for a while.
Yeah, pretty much. And then I did manage to go back to sleep, and then I didn't want to get up. I didn't want to get up, so. But I did. That's
Welcome to the Two Old Farts Discuss Aging show.
Next, we'll talk about our aches and pains. And
You're right. I remember the day.
Can't do that anymore.
Oh, gosh, right. All right, everybody. Well, hey, I am so glad that you are here today because we've been wanting to do more and more comic book reviews. We enjoy them in the books, and Mike has issues. And so we've been enjoying this journey. And I am I'm excited about our discussion today because I've been saving it. In other words, we have not talked about it. I have not shot him any texts about the whole reading of Batman and the Deadly Duo. So we are going to come.
I don't think we've talked it. Have we talked at all this week? I don't think so.
No, And so this should be an interesting show because normally we talk a little bit, but we haven't. So you are here on the air in our show. You're going to hear us surprised or awed or disgusted or whatever it may be, live reactions on the air with us. So I'm pretty excited about it.
It doesn't help that you don't show up till 15 minutes.
That's right.
Before the show, and we lose our pre-show, so we can't really discuss too much in that time. See, I may not have wanted to get up, but I was still up in time that I had done a pre-show. But no, I'm just giving you a hard time.
Yeah.
I gotta rib you a little bit.
Oh gosh,
we gotta do pre-show after the show, so that makes it post-show. So
something to that effect. Yes. All right. Well, let's get started. Shall we? Let's start with our geeky news.
All right. Okay, so
I always want to do the news every week, it seems.
All right, so first up, James Gunn casts his Superman and his Lois Lane. His Superman will be... Okay, I always mess up his name. So today I was trying to get it right. I was trying to watch Emergency Awesome to hear how he says it. Right. So David Cornswet.
Cornswet?
That's the way I want to say it. I want to say corn sweat, but he says Cornswet. So
Cornswet.
I'm sure we will learn it over the next couple years. Mm-hmm. But anyway, he is the new Clark Kent / Superman.
Yeah.
James Gunn's upcoming Superman. What is it? Legacy of Superman's movie, which will Yeah, right here, Superman Legacy, which comes out in 2025. And Rachel, I don't know how to say her name either.
I think it's Brosnahan.
Brosnahan. Sounds pretty good. Again, I'm sure we will learn how to say these names over the next few years. And here's a shot of the two of them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, granted, he's got the 5 o'clock shadow going there, the slight beard going on. So it's, but I think he looks decent. Emergency Awesome actually put a side by side shot with him and
Henry
Cavill together, and in that shot he is clean shaven like Henry is, and I gotta admit he's right. He looks like a younger Henry Cavill. So I don't know. We'll see. I still want Henry back, but it is what it is. We'll see what happens. You know, I'm willing to give him a shot. We'll see how it goes. She probably will make a fine Lois Lane. I hope so.
She's a really good actress. I've seen her in Marvelous Miss Maisel.
Yeah, that's one of the things I credit her with. I've never seen that. It looks? I don't know
it's a dramedy.
Okay.
Kind of thing, where she this is on, it's a show on Prime, Amazon Prime TV, and that they do. And she is, the way the story begins is her and her husband, you know, it's kind of that first episode is kind of that, but it's her coming into her own, and she's a comic. And now this is in the, I want to say that this, like, it was the 70s ish kind of a time frame, 60s time frame of, and so she's trying to make it as a comic, and she's really good, but it's a very fast talking show. The producers there, the writers, are the same ones who did like Gilmore Girls. So if you like Gilmore Girls, it's the same vein. It's that style of a show, but very fast talking. The trials and tribulations, and Tony Shalhoub is in it, who's played Monk. He was in Galaxy Quest. Just a great actor.
He was great in Galaxy Quest.
Right. He's in it as her father, and it's just absolutely hysterical. And it's about being in a Jewish community, Jewish families, Jewish culture in New York City at the same time of, you know, her, and she's just smart mouthed, and it's a good show, and she's really good.
Do you think that she has I can't think of Lois Lane with opposite of Christopher Reeve? Gosh, why can't I remember her name? Because you said she's smart mouthed, and that Lois Lane was very smart mouthed, which I love her. Mm-hmm. I thought she was fantastic. Mm-hmm. Do you think she's comparable to her? You think she'll make a good Lois Lane?
You're thinking Margot Kidder.
Yes, thank you, Margot Kidder.
Yeah, I think would bring in a strong character, a strong Lois Lane like that. Yes,
good.
I do. I think she'll be great. I am willing to give this gentleman, Mr. Cornsweet, willing to give him an opportunity. You know, because
I love his name,
right?
Cornsweet.
Right.
See, now you made me digress right back to that. I tried my best,
right.
And I've digressed right back into Cornsweet.
Yeah.
But there is an E between the R and the N, so it's Corns wet.
Yeah. Oh, in all fairness, your wonderful wife said Margot Kidser. I'm sure she was trying to type that quickly. Thanks. Yeah. Thanks, Brenda. So yeah, okay, yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing it. What are your thoughts? What are you? You're going to give him a chance to see how he does?
Well, yeah, I'm going to give him a chance. I mean, come on. I'm sure
that wasn't a reflection towards you. I just find it funny how people are like, "Oh, he's not going to do great because he's not Henry Cavill." Blah 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 blah.
Again, I would love to have seen Henry go on.
Yes.
You know, but I am more than willing to give James Gunn a chance for the stuff that he's got coming. I hope he does great. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But,
Right.
Do I want Henry Cavill back? Heck yeah, I want Henry Cavill back. But who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe we get Henry back in the future. Maybe we can get him in the older Superman role. That would be fantastic if we can get that. We'll see. We'll see. We don't know what the future holds. But all right, so that's one entry I have. The next on our list. Oh, get out of the way. So apparently, Pluto TV is getting a 24-hour Godzilla. Rook, it's Godzilla. Channel. And I am excited about that because I love Godzilla. And so apparently they're going to go all the way back to the 50s, movies from the 50s on up. And I think that'll be amazing. Be able to just turn on the TV and go to Pluto and just watch Godzilla.
Yeah, that's gonna be great.
When I can watch Godzilla anytime, that's a good world. That makes the world just a little bit better. So those are my two geeky news, but I do have one last thing. Let me get this off the screen here.
Okay.
So we do have new merch.
Merchandise.
I am wearing our new patriotic Two Geeks and a Microphone t-shirt. I got it just in time for 4th of July.
Yeah.
And so you can go to twogeeksmike.com and get to our merch page from there. So it's got our logo with the USA flag in the background. And then on the sleeve, it has, I'm trying to show this off. It has the American flag on the sleeve. And this is just a little bit heavier t-shirt. So it's a little cheaper than some of the others because they're a different material, but it's a nice price. It's priced to go for 4th of July. So you guys can go check that out. Then we have a new logo t-shirt, and this is the tri-blend. So it's super, super soft. I love this. And it's got our logo on the front there. And then our nice little save it for the podcast on the sleeve.
That's cool.
Yeah,
I like that.
It's pretty proud.
Now, what's that materials? What was that? Tri-blend?
Yes, this is the tri-blend. These are
super soft.
Super soft. Oh my gosh, these feel
very
great.
exciting. Okay, all right.
I'm looking forward to wearing that one. But I wanted to wear the USA one today for the show, and then
absolutely,
I'm going to wear it on the 4th of July too, which is our travel day for camping, by the way. Then this also is our save it for the podcast one. Hopefully you can see that because it's in front of my face.
Do it up with just a little bit more. There he goes. Perfect.
All right. So that's the save it for the podcast. And again, this is a tri-blend. So it is, again, the super, super soft material. And there are many options of colors that you can get those in.
It's kind of cool how when you go to the site, it allows you to switch colors around and see what you like. And
yeah,
so it's not just like a red t-shirt. Everybody, you got to buy a red t-shirt. No, if you want it in black, you want it in blue, red, yellow.
Yeah, there's only 3 options for the USA shirt. I made it red, white, and blue. I wanted it simple. And blue is my favorite color, so I went with the blue. So
okay.
All right. And that's what I have for the geeky news.
Right.
You ready to move on to Geektar?
Let's do it.
All right.
Controls the radar, sir.
What's wrong with it?
I've lost the bleeps, I've lost the sweeps, and I've lost the creeps.
The what? The what? And the what?
You know, the bleeps, the sweeps, and the creeps.
That's not all he's lost.
Right on. Okay. So what's on your Geekdar?
Okay. I only got 2 things on my Geekdar.
All right. I got 2 things as well.
Okay, cool. So one of them would be, I did watch episode 1 of Secret Invasion with Sam Jackson as Nick Fury.
Just
it's
episode
okay.
1?
Just 1. I haven't watched anything beyond 1.
Okay. I have seen 1 and 2.
Okay. The first episode I thought was decent. Not the greatest Marvel thing I've ever seen in my life. Not the worst Marvel thing I've ever seen in my life. By far, not the worst Marvel thing I've ever seen.
Okay. All right.
It is a interesting series. It's very espionage-esque, which I would kind of expect out of Nick Fury.
Mhm.
Out of a solo type thing with Nick Fury. Kind of weird because it gets a little confusing with the scrolls. I want to call them skulls,
Right.
because you don't know who's who. So I guess that's part of the intrigue of the series, is the fact that you don't exactly know who's who. And there is a slight twist at the end of the first episode, which was kind of a crap, moment. And that's probably where the episode got really good. Right there, you had the big battle scene at the end. Lots of explosions. I won't tell everything that happens because I don't want to give any spoilers. And then there's a kind of a bummer scene right there at the end. And I think episode 2 will get better. I haven't watched it yet. I'll probably watch it before we go camp on Tuesday. But yeah, I mean, it's okay. It's not the best. It's not the worst. It's somewhere in the middle, in my opinion. At least the first episode. I can't say that about the entire series, of course.
I did not like the first episode, and I watched the second because I still want to give it. You know how I am, where I always drop the first 2, kind of a thing. Drop the first 2 episodes when you do these shows or whatever. So because I want to give it a shot, I won't continue watching it.
Okay. Right.
And that's only because, I get pretty picky or choosy. If you don't grab me in the first, 2 episodes or whatever, I have other things,
Well, I want to continue it because I think it's going to lead into Secret War.
Oh, probably.
Which is Marvel's next big, tentpole movie. And Secret War, we should get get Spider-Man in the symbiote costume, which I'm looking forward to. So I don't know, maybe we'll get an intro to that somewhere. That'd be pretty amazing. But I don't think they'll intro that in the show. I think they'll intro him getting the symbiote in the movie. Of course, maybe they'll give a hint to it. I don't know. Maybe we'll see Peter Parker and we'll see the little symbiote crawling to him, and that would be amazing. But we'll see what happens. Okay, for my second Geek Dar. So this past Sunday, I'm flipping around on YouTube, and something come across, and I went, "Oh wow, I gotta watch that!" And it was a little thing on the Mach 5. Okay, so just a brief introduction here. Mach 5 is one of my favorite movie cars or cartoon cars, whatever you want to say, with of course Knight Rider, General Lee, Batmobile, all those being on top. But I've always loved the Mach 5. It's an incredible looking car. And years ago, when Megan was pretty little, we went to a car show in St. Louis. They don't do car shows like this anymore. All they do are the new cars. I don't want that crap. I want the movie cars and souped up cars and hot rods. And I never seen any car shows like that around here anymore. Anyway, so many gearheads around here. You'd think so. Anyway, I'm going off. But anyway, so there was a car show then, and I want to say they had Knight Rider. I know they had the General Lee. That was amazing. But they had the Mach 5. And I'm like, oh, I got to go see the Mach 5. That'll be so cool. And they had the saws out on it and everything. Well, the disappointment was after I got there and saw it. I mean, incredible looking, beautiful car. Looked just like the cartoon. Great job. But the problem was somebody told me, they go, it doesn't actually run. And I'm like, what? That bummed me out. I'm like, I want to see a Mach 5 that actually runs, So it was there as just a prop. That's all it was. It was not a running vehicle. They actually had to push it into the arena and all this stuff. So I was bummed by this. But there's a documentary, and it is an official real car now. In fact, if you go to www.therealmach5, you can see this car. And it is freaking amazing. Oh my gosh. So yeah, the guy that was he does all these car episodes on YouTube and stuff, and just shows off all kinds of cool cars and stuff. But for this one, he highlighted the Mach 5. It literally has the saws that come out on the front, and they actually come out and they actually turn, which blew me away. I'm like, oh my God, that's awesome. It's got the homing beacon that comes out of the hood of the car. It has almost everything the cartoon actually has, and it's pretty freaking amazing. But the pièce I can't say that. Help me there, Steven. The pièce de résistance.
There you go. There you go.
Was good. When he actually took the Mach 5 out on a racetrack and ran this car. And I was just in heaven. I'm like, oh my God, it is the real Mach 5. That is freaky.
It runs.
So it made my geeky heart very happy to see a real life running Mach 5. So that's
very nice. I did look up the realmach5.com.
It's a beautiful, beautiful car, man.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, go check that out. It's amazing. Again, just look up the real Mach 5 on YouTube. You'll find that guy's video, and it's great. It's a lot of fun. Yeah, he goes in all Speed Racer fashion, and he has the helmet. He has Speed's helmet and everything. They show clips from the cartoon. That's ties cool. Up the guys who are actually in charge of the car and steals the Mach 5 to take it out. And yeah, it's fun. It's a lot of fun. Go check it out.
Very nice. Okay, cool.
Okay.
Very nice.
What's on your geek car?
Well, this last week, just a couple of days ago, the Dune 2 trailer dropped. Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
It looks like this is more exciting. It's more the action-packed show, so we'll see, kind of a thing. So I'm excited for it. Do what?
Nothing. Go on. I'm giving you a hard time.
Fine. And then The Witcher, the newest season of The Witcher. Speaking of Henry Cavill, the newest season of The Witcher.
Who's not in that either?
He's in season 3.
In the newest
season?
He's
in season 3. Yes, he is.
Really?
This is his last season. No, season 3 is his last, and then they go into season 4.
Okay, that was filmed before he left to come back to DC to be kicked out of DC.
Right, something like that. Yes. Yeah. So
okay, cool.
I started watching it, and I'm actually kind of excited because after the show today, I'll finish watching the first episode and stuff. Yep. It's got me hooked already, so I'm excited to see it.
I tried watching season 1. I tried watching the first episode, and I couldn't get into it.
That's okay.
And I think it's partially because Henry Cavill kept throwing me off because he's blonde in that.
Right.
It bugs me that he's not, the dark-haired. Yeah, he's not Superman. It just kind of bugs me.
That's okay. Yeah. If you're not familiar with the Witcher series, the comic book, or the game, the video game, it is. Yeah.
So, episode 1 of season 3 was a good intro to season 3 there.
I haven't finished it. Yeah, I tried to watch a little bit of it, but I kept getting interrupted. So I'm like, I just need to.
I'll just watch it later when everybody's in bed, right?
Something like that. Yes.
Or you'll watch it at your other job.
Right. Well, that's where I was trying to watch it, but I kept getting interrupted by customers.
Oh, darn!
What's up with that?
You customers, leave me alone. I'm trying to watch The Witcher. What's wrong with you?
That's right. Can't you say I have a little bit headphone on one ear, so I can hear it? Just kidding.
What's that? You want a Snickers bar? You'll have to wait.
Right. Wait. Just give me 20 seconds. Yeah.
Oh, that's hilarious. All right. We ready to move on to our
Let's do this. Yes.
All right.
It's time for the main event.
All right.
Batman, the Deadly Duo.
Batman.
Yeah. All right. So, hey, everybody, here's how we're going to start off. We're going to start off the show or start off this segment like this. Mike, thank you for recommending that we do Batman Deadly Duo.
Oh, that makes me happy.
I absolutely loved it. In fact,
Good.
I was shocked when you said, yeah, I had to hurry up and try to finish reading the 7th one. I'm like, what? At the end of the 6th one, I had to hurry up and read the 7th one.
That's not a dig at this series either.
Right. No, it was.
That's just me and timing and, stuff like that. That's all.
I was very standoffish with it at first. So like, because you were like, let's do more comic book issues. And I was like, yes. And I'm like, what? Batman and the Joker team up? I was like, this is going to be a ridiculous one. And I'm like, how can that be? I'm telling you, this was a fabulous story from beginning to end.
Awesome.
And all that wraps around it. And we do need to do our our scores and stuff and all that, and we'll do that here shortly. But I just want to start off the show by saying thank you for introducing this storyline, because it's probably going to be it now has become one of my top Batman stories.
Oh, I so agree. This is going right up with The Killing Joke, with the Death in the Family, right up alongside of The Dark Knight. So, and those are my top 3 Batman stories. This goes right there with them. This was an amazing story.
Yeah.
I happened to see it in the comic book store last year, because it started out last year. I saw the artwork for it and I went, oh my gosh, that looks incredible. And that's the way a lot of these start off. The artwork's beautiful and you go, oh, I got to read that story. Sometimes they're a hit. Sometimes they're a home run, and sometimes they're a dud. But this was not just a home run, in my opinion. This is a grand slam. This was so freaking good. And that makes me happy that you did enjoy it. I do find it funny that you were like, oh, come on, the Batman and the Joker, the Deadly Duo. See, I saw that title and I loved it. I'm like, oh, this looks great. I can't wait,
Right.
And so I think it's funny that you had the opposite reaction to me of it, and then you ended up loving it. So,
oh my goodness, yeah.
That's
awesome. Because I was like, how hokey is this going to be that all of a sudden that they're teaming up? They are sworn enemies, yet they are bound by fate to a certain degree. But I'm like, I mean, just in their relationship, and that does come. I love how that comes out in this comic book.
Oh, this solidifies the fact that they are just bound together. The ending of it is like, oh, that's awesome. I love it.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
All right.
So that's just my thank you. That's how I wanted to start off the show, because in all openness, thank you, because it's great. It was great.
So our scale for this.
Yes, and you'll have to explain the scale, I think, too.
Well, which one are we going with? Are we going with Zombie Jokers?
Let's go with Zombie Jokers. Let's go with Zombie Jokers.
Okay.
Is the teeth we'd have to spend a lot of more time explaining.
I thought the teeth was kind of funny, but
the teeth is kind of funny. We'll get to it, everybody. We will talk about it, but just for our scale, let's go Zombie Jokers. I love it.
I love it. I love the Zombie Jokers. They're pretty amazing. So, okay, on a scale of 1 to 10, Zombie Jokers. This being now one of my top Batman comic series, I'm going 10 out of 10 on this. This is just amazing. The artwork in this alone is just beautiful. Every panel you just drool over. It is so good.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. The story is just a great roller coaster ride. There's lots of ups and downs. It's a nice little mystery.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost a mystery within a mystery is the way I would describe this story.
Yes. Oh, okay. Yeah. I could see where you'd say that. Absolutely. Yes.
Oh my
Yes.
God. So good. Definitely one of my top Batman stories now. So 10 out of 10 zombie jokers.
All right. 10 out of 10 zombie jokers. I give it, I actually give it 9 out of 10.
Okay.
It is right up there. Would I read it again? Absolutely. Is it, if you are an issues collector, like you collect the comic books, it is worth the purchase. Of those
Cover arts alone, that's issue number 1 right there.
Yeah.
And it's got Batman in the front. It's got Harley on behind him onto the side, and it's got Joker's menacing face in the background with the bat symbol. Beautiful cover. I mean, each cover is amazing.
Yeah, there are some more elements of it from a story standpoint that I don't want to say here because it'll be spoilers.
Yeah,
but they're just fantastic. The reason I knock off the 1 point is because of some of the story. I loved it. I loved the overarching view of it. I loved tracking it. It was just all of a sudden there were 2 instances where it was, oh, and by the way, and I'm like, it didn't lead up. It was just stuff that came out of nowhere.
Okay, that's fair.
And I was like, that's kind of, what was it they called Ray? Ray was like a Mary Sue. Like all of a sudden she could do blah, 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 blah. Not quite like that, but from a character point of view, but from a story, I was like, oh, well, that's convenient.
Are you referring to the antagonist in this?
No, not necessarily. No. Okay. There is a point where the antagonist, I don't want to say anything. We'll get to that we'll come back to that.
I explained her really well, actually, but okay. All right. I am intrigued to find out who exactly you're talking about there, though. So
yeah, it is not really just any one character. It's the kind of the events of the storyline more than anything else. Okay. That all of a sudden it was like, well, that's convenient. Or I didn't see that coming because you didn't lead into it. You know what I mean? It was that kind of a thing. But other than that, what the reveals were in it were fantastic. If that makes sense. So that's what I was like, well, if I could do 9.5, maybe I'll do 9.5, but I've
got to get that half in there.
Yeah. You make fun of me of doing the 0.5s or 0.25s or whatever, 0.75. So
I don't mind the 0.5, but when you start going, 0.8, blah, blah, blah. Oh gosh.
8.42587.
Nice.
Right. So, all right, let's do this. Let's move forward.
Well, let's give just a little bit of background on this. So the book is by Marc Silvestri. He did the art, and I believe he wrote it too. So in this one article I'm reading here, he reveals that this story has actually been in the works since 2014. He says a labor of love, a deadly duo represents Silvestri's, whatever his name is, statement on who and what the Batman is and how he relates to his arch enemy, the Joker, through the lens of a once-in-a-lifetime team-up. But the final issue, while providing an electrifying final showdown between Batman, the Joker, and their common enemy, Amanda Sims, ends with the kind of a punchline that can only take place between 2 lifelong arch foes. So, and yeah, I think that's a decent explanation of the end of this book, this series, I should say, because it's a 7-part series. It started last year, and this is part of DC's Black Label line. So Black Label is a way for DC to put out more mature and slightly more violent content.
Oh, okay.
This may not be for everybody. It is a fairly violent book or series of books. But I mean, it has got a incredible Batman story to it. I can't gush on this story much more.
Okay.
I think it was great. So,
All right.
All right.
So the story. All right, everybody. So now from here on out, just so you know, we are in spoilerific territory. So
should I go through it?
yeah, sure. Why not? Warning.
All right.
There you have it, everybody. We are in spoilerific territory.
All
So
right.
So you want to go through what we liked the most, kind of thing?
Sure. First of all, I loved Harley in this. She was great.
Yes.
Batman, of course, was fantastic.
Mhm.
Joker was amazing. Probably one of the top stories for the Joker. Still doesn't top The Killing Joke. The Killing Joke is the epitome of the Joker. And the Three Jokers is such a good story too. But this goes right alongside those. I love the zombie Jokers because we get zombie Jokers in this.
Yes.
And it really throws you off because it's not him. He didn't create the zombie Joker. So you're like, where the heck did these things come from?
Right.
You know, and they're
first thought for sure it was him, kind of a thing.
well, yeah. And I think they wanted us to believe it was him, but obviously it's not. And they're pretty amazing. They're almost freaking indestructible practically.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So zombie Jokers were amazing. I thought the antagonist, once the antagonist was revealed, I thought
yes,
she was great. I really liked her.
Top shelf villain. Shelf villain.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the only thing bad about this is they've stated this is outside the main continuity. So,
really?
Yeah, this kind of goes along with Batman Gotham by Gaslight, and
so in Elseworlds style.
Yeah, it's basically. I think all the Black Label are considered Elseworlds. But the nice thing is, the nice thing is you can do whatever you want in the Elseworlds, and you don't have to worry about following main continuity and being chained by history of main continuity.
She is a great new villain.
Oh yeah, I love
What's her name? Is it Amanda Sims?
Amanda Sims, yeah.
Amanda Sims.
I would not be shocked if they give her a good villainous name. Eventually.
She was my favorite. The whole concept of her, where she's at and what she's become, and her ability is fantastic. And so everybody, this is spoilers. She, her dad was doing research on genetics to find some cells that can kill cancer cells. It's successful, but as with anything, there's some trouble with it. It goes wrong. Accident with the Joker involved. He tries to help his daughter, doesn't, but all of a sudden you realize she's not dead, kind of a thing. But she has this ability to where if she touches someone or scratches someone or something, has that connection with their cells, because her whole thing is about cell regeneration kind of thing. But she knows. It's like
she gains the knowledge of that person.
Right.
So, I mean, that's a pretty incredible power to have.
I think it's where what they did with it, with how she talked, with how she monologued. We get the villain monologue.
Yeah, we get the villain monologue, of course.
But it reflected that ability. To she talks about it, but there was the sense of, you see her rationale, or you're thinking through, what if someone has that ability, where's their mind going to take them? And that was good. That was well done on the writer's part to say, they always talk about characters and what's my motivation. I tell you what, I guess, is it Marc Silvestri did the writing too?
I think so.
Yeah, he did some inking. I know. Or excuse me, he did the.
Oh my gosh. Okay, you read it through the digital app.
I
Did
did.
the digital app give you the inkings at the end
Yes,
of it?
it sure did.
Oh my gosh, they're just as incredible as the full artwork. It's amazing.
So the black and right. So the black and white inkings you get like before they got colored, and it was just
I'll open up the first.
It was incredible.
At the end of each issue, they give you these black and white inkings before the coloring comes along, and
that Marc Silvestri did.
Yeah, they're just as mind blowing as the final product. It's just incredible to go through each of the. Here, let me see if I can find another really good one. Oh, here's a great one of the Joker's face. So hopefully you can see that.
Yeah,
it's in my face.
That's funny.
I love this. Might be a little twisted, but so just to give a slight bit of story on this. So it starts off with Amanda Sims. She's getting married, and the Joker runs through the chapel with a armored car and bust into the wedding, and robs people and so on and so forth. And this is how the building caves in. There's a fire, and she's killed. Batman tries to save her, but doesn't achieve it. She's lost. She dies. Her husband to be dies. Basically, the only one that survives is her father, and now he's bent on bringing her back per se, which through his genetic research, he tries to bring her back, and in the meantime, he creates all these Joker-like zombies and uses them to kind of pull Batman and the Joker to him, and so on and so forth. So, and that's kind of how we get where we're at. And the Joker more or less calls on Batman to help him. And that's where the intrigue starts, because it's like, wait a minute. Why would the Joker ever call on Batman? And the Joker reveals that Amanda's father has something that he wants. And we also know that Amanda's father has, or at least we believe it's Amanda's father, has Harley imprisoned. So immediately your thought is, well, the Joker is wanting Harley. That's the whole thing. So you're thinking that. And also he has Commissioner Gordon in prison. So that's the thing that brings Batman and Joker together to work together, because there's no way Batman would work with the Joker, but knowing the fact that he has Jim Gordon and the Joker could be an asset to getting Jim Gordon back, that's the reason Batman teams up with him. So thought it was great story writing, good way to get the two of them together. It was a believable scenario. Right. That was my concern. As I mentioned before, I was like, my concern was, would it be, is it going to be hokey? You know what I'm saying? Or where they team up, but actually it's a believable scenario. It was not hokey in the least. There wasn't a hokey thing in this comic whatsoever.
Oh, nerdery murdery. That artwork is beautiful.
Good morning. Yes. I'm assuming that's Zig, and yes, Zig, I agree with you.
Oh, it's fabulous. It is some of the best artwork I've seen.
Beautiful.
Kind of thing. Now, I looked this up just a moment ago. Marc Silvestri, who did this, he is CEO of Image Comics.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, so that's Image and Top Cow, I believe, as well. So, yeah. So I'm telling you.
I like Image, so Image put out some really good stuff.
Yeah, I've got some first year Image.
I think Nerdery and Murdery touched on Image comic books recently too. Zig can can correct me if I'm wrong on that. But yeah, check out those guys. They do some amazing stuff.
Great research. Great research on the nerdy part and the murdery part.
Yes, definitely.
They do great. Yes. Yeah. So okay, so
Malibu. Okay.
They did Malibu. Zig says they did Malibu. Gotcha.
I'm sure Zig's got something coming up for Image at some point.
But I will confirm.
If he doesn't, he has an idea now.
Right. Hint, hint.
That's my request.
Oh, yeah, that's funny. Oh gosh. So I would say I adored these books. Each book had a couple of just incredible images. And when I was looking at it on the app, I was doing it on my computer because I like it better than being on it's too small on my phone. Sure. And the way it would fly through the panels and then pan out sometimes was just fabulous. It was a great addition to as I'm reading it, and then all of a sudden it pans out, it gives you the big picture. Some of those big pictures were just absolutely fabulous. Absolutely fabulous.
And I was just drooling over the hard copies practically because, man, just beautiful artwork.
Yeah.
So in this, we get these little storylines of and I'll just say antagonist right now. The antagonist gives Batman and the Joker some kind of almost impossible mission that they have to. It's almost like a riddle that they have to solve. Almost felt like the Riddler there, really.
A little bit. It sure did. But rather than being a riddle, here's the situation. You got to figure it out.
Right. You got to figure out what's the best scenario and how you save these people. And so in the first scenario, we have two parents, a mother and a father.
Oh, yes. Mm-hmm.
And the child he's adopted, right? I believe
he's their kid. They were fighting over custody, but both of them really wanted him just because they wanted the money and didn't really care about the child.
Yeah, they were really bad parents, just terrible parents.
Yeah.
And the task was you have to figure out which parent the child should be with, and that's the parent I will save. That's the situation here. I mean, that's almost an impossible situation for Batman. So I love Batman's answer, though. He's like, well, neither one should end up with the child.
Yeah, when he says that, you're like, what? Batman, what'd you just do?
Right. But Batman, in turn, tries to save both of them. And if I remember right, he's unsuccessful.
He's unsuccessful, which was very surprising. Right. I was like, ooh, this comic book went there.
But we got a nice twist at the end of it. So the child does get a very good happy ending at the end of the comic series. So that was cool.
He gets an answer. Yes. Now, the death, though, of the parents, now that I finished the book and I can go back and look, is a foreshadowing of a major theme or a major learning point or a major discussion point about the character of Batman that culminates in the very end. And that was the whole point of where he doesn't murder anyone, but there's people around him who are always dying.
Ah, nice.
And
boy, that was almost Geek with a Bible philosophy there, Stephen.
Ooh,
wow,
that's a great compliment. And thank you.
Yes, you're very welcome. Nice.
Yeah. I tell you what, that Geek with the Bible, you guys, has an incredible mind. And when you start talking geeky stuff with him, whoa.
That's our friend Aaron McCoy, by the way. And
that is correct. Yeah.
Aaron was on with us last week.
Yeah.
And I've got a playlist of episodes in our YouTube channel you can go to and look up, just look up the Geek with the Bible playlist and you can see the stuff with us and Aaron. Amazing stuff. Aaron's a great guy.
He's got the best memes too on his Facebook.
So then the next scenario is the train scenario. So you have this train that's been around for, I don't know, 100 years or something like that. It's like the last steam powered train.
The Gotham Bullet.
Yeah, the Gotham Bullet. What a great name too. And the train looked beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful job on the train. So he has to get the train's weight down before it reaches the Gotham station.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, it's going to not stop and impact the Gotham station.
It's going to kill everybody. Yeah.
Everybody whatsoever. So Batman and Joker into the train, right? And Batman's like, start throwing everything off this train.
It was creative.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then next thing you know, some people are starting to get thrown off.
No, they weren't there yet. They weren't there yet because it was like stage one was throw everything off the train. You need to kind of wait. And I was like, oh, that's interesting, because the challenge was by the time it got to a certain point, it had to be, the train had to be the weight as if it was empty.
Right. Yeah.
And I was like, how in the world is Batman going to do? I was so engrossed. I was trying to figure it out, now, kind of a thing.
Could you imagine that in a movie? That would be great.
Totally imagine it in the movie. Totally imagine it. Because not only that, but then when he started setting everything on fire, I'm like, what is he doing? And it didn't register with me till later that, because he couldn't uncouple the cars. Right. Like,
that was one of the stipulations. You're not allowed to uncouple cars. They have to stay together.
So burned them down.
He starts burning them. Well, it's not uncoupling him.
But it wasn't burning fast enough. Go ahead with this next part, man.
So then all of a sudden, some people start getting thrown off the train.
He threw people off. And the Joker's like...
Yeah. He realizes the Joker started throwing people off, and the Joker's like, I'm only throwing the big ones off.
Right.
I mean, that's what you get when you pair Batman and the Joker together.
But again, it brought into reflection the concept that people, even though Batman does not kill anyone, people around him die. And then there's the whole concept that's brought at the very beginning that, Mr. Wayne, you've got this event with the Wayne Sims Foundation, which ties into the story. But this foundation that is for the collateral that pays for the collateral damage that happens with the Batman involved with stuff or crime or those kind of events, where restitution for families, which I was like, oh, this I like that concept. But again, it's the same theme of there's collateral damage around Batman. And
wow,
how does he come to grip? How does Bruce Wayne / Batman come to grips with that?
I just had an epiphany, Stephen. So you said that people around Batman die. So that means the Keaton Batman, he didn't kill anyone. They just happened to die around him. That's always your criticism of the 89 Batman. Oh, he killed people. Batman doesn't kill.
If you're new to the show, everybody, one of the things that I just cannot handle in the Batman 89, really,
actually, I think it's more the Batman Returns.
It was really Batman Returns, yeah, the Christmas movie Batman Returns, because it takes place at Christmas.
Yes, it is a Christmas movie.
Kind of like Die Hard. But I was like, well, Batman doesn't kill. And I'm telling you, in that movie, he is killing people.
They just happen to die around him.
They just happen to die around him. I like that. That's good. I like that.
You came up with the concept, so I'm running with it, dude. Hey, anything to defend my favorite Batman.
Right on. I like that. That was good. That was clever. Nicely done.
Let me reiterate. Anything to defend my favorite live action Batman, because we all know Kevin Conroy is Batman.
Right.
And Lethal Weapon. Lethal Weapon's a Christmas movie too. Murdery. I just saw that. I saw somebody posted that. Well, everyone says that Die Hard is a Christmas movie. If Die Hard's a Christmas movie, so is Lethal Weapon. And I'm kind of on board with that.
I haven't thought about Lethal Weapon that way. That's pretty good.
We're getting a lot of new Christmas movies.
We sure are, by golly. I like it. I like it a lot. All right. So we were talking about, okay, so you're talking about the train event.
And that whole the Joker starts throwing people off. Oh, they're just
my
big ones.
Just the big ones.
That was actually one of my favorite points in the comic book.
Agreed.
It's dark and twisted, but
it's classic Joker. I mean, it is Joker to a T.
It's so Joker. I can see any of the Jokers in the movies doing that too. It's just awesome. Loved it.
If they made Deadly Duo into a film, I'd take my money now.
Oh my gosh.
Do a Kickstarter, whatever. I would love to see this. It's just a fabulous story of the two. Yeah.
So if we could take the Batmans and the Jokers that have already, any of them, dead or alive, if we could take any of the existing Batman and Joker live action characters, which Batman and Jokers would you put in this for this story? Which live action ones of the existing ones would you put in this story?
Oh, good question. That's a good question. I would say of the Batman, I would go with George Clooney.
Oh, God. I wish I could throw something at you right now.
No, realistically, I probably would go with Ben Affleck for this one.
Oh, okay.
And the reason why I say that is I felt like the Ben Affleck Batman still had that detective side to him, if that makes sense.
Okay.
And I thought,
so that's your Batman.
That's my Batman.
So who's your Joker?
Ooh. If Jack Nicholson, you remember how we've seen a Joker that totally looked like Jack Nicholson, but the thin Joker. Do you see what I'm saying? Like if you had Jack Nicholson, but you took away 200 pounds off of him. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, that was my only complaint about Jack Nicholson back in the day, in the 89 Batman was at first when they cast him, I was like, I love Jack Nicholson, but he's a little heavy, but man, he did such a good job.
Well, I get it from, I guess, was it Animaniacs? No. Go to Aladdin. Aladdin the cartoon, Robin Williams, and Robin Williams does a pretty cool Jack Nicholson imitation. He does it in the movie, and the movie does that thin Jack Nicholson face.
Oh yeah, okay.
And I'm like, that's what comes to mind. I'm like, if you made him that Joker, I would love Jack Nicholson as Joker.
Okay,
kind of a thing.
So my Joker is going to be Heath Ledger. I think Heath would make a perfect Joker for this one. Batman's a little harder. I see where you're going with the Ben Affleck, but I have a hard time either between the Michael Keaton Batman and pardon me, because I'd love to see that team up between Michael Keaton and Heath Ledger. I think that'd be pretty amazing. Or I would just go with Christian Bale. Although you can't have Christian Bale's voice, you got to have Kevin Conroy's voice.
Right.
So maybe the Christian Bale crossed with Kevin Conroy and the Heath Ledger Joker.
Yeah.
There's my choice. Because I think they both are physically, the physicalities of them match what they would in the comic books.
Mm-hmm.
And I like the Christian Bale Batman. Other than his voice, I like him. I think he's really good. So, I think that's my choices. What, Megan?
Just from your description of the comics, it sounds like it would be better and animated.
Well, yeah.
And because I think what you've described for the Joker is Mark Hamill's Joker.
Oh yeah, well, of course,
Because
Mark.
that just seems like his Joker.
The whole thing of throwing the big ones off the train,
Especially that.
is really the clincher for that one.
I could definitely see Mark Hamill doing that. That's just so Mark Hamill.
Yeah, it was good. So after that, after that point within the story, we really began to see what else is happening here. What's really going on? Because then you're getting to a thing of, wait a minute, this is someone else. There's another antagonist here. You know, there's some. You think it's someone, but then you realize.
Well, the initial thought is you think it's Amanda's father because
you do.
He's wanting revenge on the fact that Batman did not save his daughter. That's really what's going on here, and he blames Batman. He blames the Joker, or at least this is what everybody. This is what they allude to in the comic book. Actually, I do think his motive originally was he blamed everybody.
Agreed.
But his biggest complaint was Batman. Batman. Had a little Jim Carrey Riddler in my head there.
Right.
The Batman. Anyway, sorry. I guess there are some good moments to that movie. But yeah, you think it's him. But in the meantime, you see Commissioner Gordon being held, and he's talking to somebody the whole time. And the funny thing is, her father loses his eye in the whole, wedding fiasco that happens. He loses his eye, and you see somebody with Commissioner Gordon who's got a red eye in place of their normal eye. And so I think that's the part where they're alluding, no, it's not actually who you think it is. The antagonist is not Amanda's father.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I thought that was a pretty cool reveal. It's like at that moment, oh, wait a minute. He's not orchestrating all of this.
And you thought he was. They did a nice job.
Right. So that's why I said it's kind of like a mystery with a twist and a twist. So, that's kind of where I was going with that. And so then we kind of find out as it goes along, Amanda is, Batman goes to Amanda's grave, and he finds she's been dug up and the casket has been busted open.
Well, I like how the books did it because they cut off right when he's got the gravedigger, and then you see the guy. I think I want to leave now, kind of thing. He's got somebody digging, but they don't show you the results of it until the next book,
right? Yeah,
the next issue. And
wait. So you like the cliffhanger?
Yeah, it was good. I was like, we're still trying to figure this out. And it was interesting because it did show like she clawed her way out.
Yeah.
And I was like, eek. So great new villain. Oh,
I'm loving her. She just needs a villain name. That's all.
Now, they're probably waiting. They'll probably do that.
Harley had plenty of villain names for her.
That's true too.
Every time you turned around, Harley was calling her a different name, and it was pretty funny, And at one point, she even calls her the Corpse Bride.
Yeah, that's right.
Which I thought was great. Corpse Bride. And, oh man, I should have made a list of the names.
The names, that's okay.
Harley's names were fantastic.
They were good. I will say this: at the end of all things, and you find out she's still alive.
Well, she's not really alive.
Well, she's still out there. We'll put that way. And she almost seems like she's more indifferent. Like she had the chance when she was fighting with him again. She got kind of an update of not just who he was necessarily, but his feelings, his emotions, what happened with certain decisions and stuff. So she got hit, because she, when she touches someone, she gets their DNA and able to know everything about them. And I thought it was really cool. And so she becomes more in between, like not necessarily antagonist. I mean, she has a purpose, and it is a total villain rationale mindset, which is great.
Definitely.
Which is great. But she leaves him be. Like she says, there'll come another time. And so do you think she's more gray? Like she's not totally bad, but she really is bad. That throws her kind of like a Ra's al Ghul kind of character. You get his motivations.
I think she's more bad than Ra's al Ghul. I really do.
Okay.
Because I mean, I Ra's is one of those characters. His motive is he thinks that he wants to better the world, is what he thinks he's doing, but in the overall scheme, he's not. With her, I think hers is a little more selfish. Of course, then again, hers she kind of lines up with Batman in some ways.
Okay. What way? I'm intrigued. What do you mean?
In the fact that, Batman has spent his entire life basically trying to get revenge for his parents' death, but overall using that as for good. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I think hers is similar to that, but I don't know if it's really for good,
Right.
I think for her, it's more of a selfish thing where Batman, he feels he's doing things to protect Gotham and protect others. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
With her, I don't think it's about protecting others. It's just, I want
revenge against evil.
Right. Against evil. Exactly. So,
and I'll do any and all means necessary.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. And I know everything.
Well, I mean, she doesn't know everything, but if
I come in contact with you, I know everything about you.
Right.
I know about what you've learned. It was almost Matrix-esque.
Yeah.
Where you download information and stuff like that.
Yeah. Okay.
Download a little helicopter for me, will you? How do I fly this helicopter? I know Kung Fu. Does she know Kung Fu now? Ooh. If she's got Batman, she's got Kung Fu training. Hiya!
Oh, nice. So yeah, I really liked her. I thought she was good. So yeah, they reveal that she's actually the antagonist behind what's going on.
Villain.
She is the villain. And her father, he more or less, she reveals that he started this out with the intentions of bringing her back. But as it goes along, he becomes more selfish, and it becomes a little more about him
his
than it
pride
is
and look what I was able to do, kind of a thing. Yes.
So she turns on even her father, and that just made her full on villain, I think.
Yep.
Because he even recreated his eye using the same technologies that he created the Joker zombies and brought her back.
Mm-hmm.
And like she said, she felt that she was just an experiment to see if he could bring back his eye.
Mm-hmm.
Which is where I think that started her hatred of her father at that point.
Mm-hmm.
So,
mm-hmm.
And we got full on villain now.
Yeah.
Full on villain.
Yeah. This was a good series. I mean, it was quite enjoyable, and it just came out. Started in November, so it hasn't even been a year.
It just ended, I think, in May. I think that was when the last issue came out. So I would expect a trade paperback to come out in the next
September. September.
Oh, it's September.
I saw it on Amazon.
I was going to say about the next 3 to 4 months. So
yep.
So a little bit
September.
Yeah, a little less now.
Once we get our Amazon affiliates thing going back again, I'll put it on our website.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
10 cents.
I mean, if you're a single issue collector, you might be able to still get the books at your local comic book store.
Mhm.
If you don't care about single issues, I would highly recommend picking up the trade paperback when it comes out, because this is just
Yeah, I wonder if they'll have the inkings, Marc Silvestri inkings.
I'm sure they will.
The black and whites.
I
They're
would
fabulous.
suppose the trade paperback will have pretty much everything that the single issues had. It may have a little extra because it'll probably have some interviews with Mark in it and stuff like that to, just to give you some background on the story and everything. Because they tend to throw in some extras. If it's not in that first run of the trade paperback, they definitely, like in another year, will do like a second run, which will probably be like a hardback edition, and that will again have even more extras. So I would expect it to be there if it's not in the first run. So you just have to wait and see what they do. But if you're just wanting a story, yeah, just wait, get that trade paperback, and yeah, I think you'll be really, really happy with the story. It's really good. So we didn't talk about the end that much. So at the end, the Joker gets basically Batman blows up the tunnel that they're in and floods it, and the Joker manages to get away. The Batman tries to save the Joker, but the Joker refuses to go with Batman because the Joker's got other plans. And the Joker and Harley manage to escape. They get away, which you knew would happen. Mm-hmm. And Amanda almost gets Batman, but Batman gets away, and they make it look like Amanda is destroyed. But then at the very end, we realize Amanda has survived. Mm-hmm. She's still out there, which means there'll be a second.
I hope so. Story. I even tried to look online, see if there was another story with her, because I really enjoyed her.
Oh, I'm sure Marc Silvestri he's probably already got it written. Right. I'm sure he does. They would not leave it like that if they didn't plan on actually.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So I'm sure it's already written.
There's one other thing that we mentioned that we probably need to talk about real quick is when we find out that the Joker was really in on it to a certain degree.
Yes.
And because he wanted
this
something.
Is what ties him and Batman together, like we were talking about at the beginning. Sorry.
No. It's totally okay. No. Because it's really good. It's really well done. I get the excitement because, it was like, oh. So really, something was baited to him by Amanda Sims about saying, I have in a safe deposit box everything you need to know about Batman, who he is.
Right.
And what happens is the way they play out the story, he does get the key. He gets away with the key. They blow up a bank. He hires some guys to blow up a bank to get the contents of the safety deposit box. And then Joker calls Batman or gives him a phone, and they do a video call. They Zoom call on their phone.
Oh, did you notice Batman left the Batcave before he calls him back?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was. Oh yeah, and every time he had the Joker in the Batcave, he had that mask on him. Yeah, the hood, which made him look almost like Red Hood again, which I loved.
Yeah.
And then at one point, Batman gives the Joker basically a super suit.
Yeah, which was
the Joker
great.
Looked great in. He was awesome,
fabulous in it.
Yeah, it was like this purple and green, and it was great. Yeah, you got to see it. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And what happens with that super suit too? Which is really good. Good. Yeah. So he gets it, but then there's this dialogue of where the Joker blows up the henchman that he had to break into the bank.
Yeah.
You know, and again with that theme of people around you just die.
So hold on a second. So the whole time he kept saying that there's something that he wanted, and they alluded to us that it was actually Harley. It was never Harley.
It was never Harley.
Joker honestly could care less about Harley, which fits with their relationship perfectly.
Yeah.
And then eventually she gives him a key, is what Amanda Sims gives him as a key. And then we find out that key goes to a safe deposit box in the bank, which he sends his henchmen into, basically blow up the bank, get in there, get what's in the safe deposit box. Now go.
Oh no, but it is the whole dialogue of, right. I don't want to know. There's no need for me to know.
Right. So it had everything he needed to know who Batman was. It was, as she said, it was the receipts. It was all the receipts.
Mm-hmm.
And the Joker was like, no, I don't want to know who you are, because we are both alpha males. We are apex predators.
We are the apex predators. Yeah.
We are the apex predators. It almost reminded me of Batman the Dark Knight with Batman and the Joker, and the Heath Ledger Joker goes, kill you? Why would I want to do that?
Yeah.
You make me, You
complete me. That's what my brain goes to.
It just so which is another reason I think a live action Joker of this, Heath Ledger would have been a good pick for this Joker. That's just where my brain goes on that.
Yeah. But, agreed.
Yeah, it was a great ending.
It was a great ending.
Oh.
It wasn't just one ending. It was several endings together. I mean, that was good. Oh, that was good. Oh, that was good too. I mean, it was.
Well, and there's this whole thing also that Batman or Bruce Wayne, Batman, they have a contingency plan if somebody finds out who they are, and it basically sets off a terrorist attack on the Wayne Foundation. And I guess to throw people off the trail of the fact that he is Batman. And then there's this whole money thing put in place to help anyone who's affected by the terror. I mean, there's so many levels of this thing.
There was, yeah.
It's just crazy. It's so insane,
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it was quite well done. Quite well done.
It was thought out so well. Now, wait a minute. Before we end, now you said there were a couple things that bumped it down.
Yeah, story wise,
you didn't really. Yeah,
you really didn't know about Amanda Sims until like all of a sudden, hey, he's got a daughter. Oh, guess what? She's dead, and she's really back. That was quick, but I still love the character, if that makes sense.
But we got the story of the wedding. That was where
did get the story of the wedding,
who she is.
Yeah, but there wasn't much that led up to saying that she was still alive until just before the reveal.
But I think if they would have revealed that wedding too soon, I think you would have figured out who the
you're right.
The antagonist is.
Yeah. Then the other one was, oh, hey, by the way, they're at the wedding. Oh, yeah, and here below, there was, just so you know, while we're right in the middle of all this chaos that's going on, let me tell you also that there happened to be subway tunnels underneath the church. That's what saved us.
I'll give you that one.
That one, I was like, wait, what? There's one other one, too, that I thought was just like, okay, but other than that, I mean, yeah, it's almost, for me, it's almost perfect. Just because of all the different levels, the way they did the characters, the artwork was fabulous. The story I was engaged with, it truly was a detective story.
Yeah.
And not like detective, like everything's forensics, but it was here is the situation that you got to figure out. So it's not necessarily like the Riddler where here's the here's the riddle me this kind of thing. It was, no, here's your situation, figure it out. You got to
it's
do
almost like Agatha Christie, Matlock type,
Oh yeah, it was a good mystery thriller.
Right. Yep. Agreed.
I know.
So I still say 10 out of 10 zombie jokers.
And I say a solid 9 out of 10 zombie jokers.
Oh wait, you went down now.
Oh well, it was the 9.5. I was joking about the 9.5. I tried not to do that anymore, but anyway.
Oh, you can do the 0.5s. Just don't do the 0.75 ... Blah, blah. All right. I think that's it. I think
that's it. Yeah. Hey, everybody. If you've ever thought about doing your own podcast and just curious about that, you can go to www.podbean.com/communicate. And that is our connection. We use Podbean for our podcasting service. Love it. It's reasonable for $9 a month. That's, I think, is if you pay for a whole year at a time, like $108. You could do it monthly too, but they do have a free trial, and that free trial is not based upon time. It's just based upon how many podcasts you put out. It is limited, but it's to give you a chance to try it out. We love it. Even for that amount, you can do, when you become a subscriber, you can do as many podcasts as you want. A lot of other podcast services charge you by how much you put out. And we do 30-minute, hour-long, 1.5 hour long podcasts, and we don't have to worry about our time frame, or if we want to do little extra episodes here or there, we don't have to worry about that, how much more it's going to cost. So we love Podbean. Podbean also will allow you to connect. It helps you. It guides you. It walks you through how to connect your podcast with all the major podcast services. And even then some, it kind of gives, hey, here's some instructions, by the way, on some of the other ones. So it's really good, super easy to use, intuitive. You do get a landing page for your podcast that you can do. We don't use it a whole lot because we have our own website, but you don't have to have your own website. You can just use the Podbean site as your website. I mean, it's designed that way. So pretty cool stuff with that. So anyway, check that out. Go to podbean.com/communicate. You'll get our link. And if you decide that you're going to join in, it does help the show as well. So, all right. Well, there we go. There's sponsorship.
Speaking of Podbean and the audio podcast side of our podcast, yes. I have made the switch to launch our episodes now on Mondays instead of Fridays. So
he didn't ask permission for that, you guys. He just did it on his own. He said, Steven, this is what I'm doing. Deal with it.
I kind of did. No, the thing was, I felt that Friday was too far out, being the fact that we do these on Saturday mornings on YouTube live. Mm-hmm. And then you're practically a week away by the time the audio goes out. So I decided it'd be a better thing to launch them on Mondays. So starting this past week, we launched the last episode on Monday, and going forward, they will be on Mondays, unless there's some kind of unforeseen thing that I can't get it out on a Monday. And I'll try to let you know on the Facebook page for that. And speaking of the Facebook page and YouTube, please go like and subscribe to us on Facebook, and subscribe to or follow us on YouTube and follow us on Facebook, so on and so forth. I try to put up many funny memes on Facebook, and give any of our information for any of our upcoming episodes on there. So anything that we announce will be put on Facebook. That's our primary source of information there. And YouTube, we'd like to see YouTube grow more. So make sure and like and subscribe over there. Go like the individual videos too, because that helps the algorithm. The more videos that are liked and more people are clicking on them, the more people see them. Also, I'm trying to build up our Twitter page. I have to admit, I'm not as active on Twitter as I am Facebook. Twitter's just not my favorite place, but I'm trying to get better. And our show is now being aired on Twitter too. So
it sure is. Yep.
So if you're a
pretty cool
Twitter user, if you're a twit, please go follow us on Twitter because we're big twits. All right. Anything else, Steven?
Nope, that's it. Great job.
All right. Thank you. It's a lot of fun. And I have to say, this is just an amazing issue. So until next time, may the force be with you, and we will see you again. Same bat time, same bat channel. Thank you for joining us today on the Two Geeks and a Microphone podcast. Tune in next week when we will have more news and reviews. Until then,